Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.
What's your outlet?
The explosion always gets me with that. I don't care who you are. Welcome to Sabres Game Day. It is Super Bowl Sunday, so you can be forgiven if you forgot that the Sabres are even playing. You know, no accountability there. No one to hold accountable if you forgot. But with that said, I'm Maniac. It's Sabres, Canadians, a classic matchup, one that people are always into, and of course, one that our guy Dwayne cannot wait for whenever he sees it on the schedule. Dwayne, how are we feeling going in to puck drop? Just about 10 minutes away here.
Not too bad. The Montreal Canadiens are a struggling hockey team, and it's a new head coach change, kind of off the board head coaching change in Martin St. Louis, a guy that had very minimal coaching experience. I know he did some stuff with travel, but very off the board, Hall of Famer, Stanley Cup champion. But I think it definitely, I like to compare it to when the Bills went and signed T.O. It got fans engaged again, and they got excited. And, now they're back on board for the time being. Not that they think they're going to make the playoffs, but at least they're interested in the ongoings of the team, game to game again.
I mean, I say that Buffalo fans do have high standards, even though our team hasn't made the playoffs in 10 years, but kind of crazy to need to get fans back on board less than a year after being in the Stanley Cup Finals. I mean, that's not something you always see, but yeah, I like that TO analogy, though. That is legit for sure. With that said, we got Canadian Sabres, obviously. Anderson's going to get the start in goal for Buffalo. With that said, what is your focus on today in this matchup?
This team has, I think 9 wins, maybe 8 or 9 wins in the season. Like, you have to win this game. Like, you have to. Especially after you give up a 2-goal lead in the third period against the Blue Jackets. A game you should have won. I would say a lot of fingers are probably pointed to goaltending for that. Now you have the goalie that should have been playing against the Blue Jackets playing tonight. That was just kind of confusing to me. Why would you not play the better goaltender against a better team after a week layoff? But I mean, I'm not the coach. But you get a struggling Montreal Canadiens team who just put Ben Chariot, one of their better defenders, on the IR today. Was looked possibly to be one of the bigger trade chips going into the trade deadline. Now he's off the market. So that, and just another player off the board for them. That's, for a team that's already been riddled with injuries between Carey Price, Shea Weber. I know Brendan Gallagher missed a lot this season. A team that next to Vegas has probably been the most injury-ridden team in the NHL this year.
Yeah, seriously. And the Sabres know a thing or two about injuries, especially this season. Speaking of which, so obviously Granato had his, Coach Granato, Don Granato, whatever you want to call him, Donnie Meatballs, had his pregame presser a couple hours ago. And obviously that was where we learned that Anderson was going to be in goal, but we learned that Mark Pysyk was a healthy scratch. So there's a lot of speculation on this. As you can see, our boy Lance Lazowski reporting it. But yeah, could this be a trade piece? Is this, because you can't imagine that they're actually sitting Pysyk for logistical reasons, right?
No, this is definitely here's the thing on the blue line. Really, as long as your name's not Rasmus Dahlin, you're on the trade market right now. So I could imagine this could be one of two things. They don't want to take. Maybe there's something in the works for Mark Pysyk, or B, they want to maybe showcase Jacob Bryson a little bit for the trade deadline too. Which is a reason why you would play him against a team like Montreal, a team where he might be able to be spotlighted a little bit more and use his his skill to maybe showcase himself to the leagues that are looking for help on their blue line.
Yeah, this is going to be a big trade deadline for the Sabres, needless to say, because postseason is obviously not happening this year. So really, it's about that focus for next year. It's about, bolstering that roster and finding ways to do so, finding ways to stack young talent, which so far Kevin Adams has done a pretty good job of. Obviously, he had the benefit of, being able to trade away Reinhart and Eichel, which are two young studs in their own, obviously, and Eichel will probably make us having nightmares in a couple months here. With that said, any specific move with the deadline looming that you're targeting or anything, any team maybe you want to do a deal with specifically?
I want to see Buffalo reach back out to the Vegas Golden Knights. They are actually now that I believe it was Mark Stone is, I'm not sure about the status of that injury, but it's a $9.5 million cap hit of his that I know, circumventing the cap. Who would have figured? But I know that he did get hurt. I'm not sure. Maybe you can look at that real quick while I'm talking, if he's on IR or not, or how his expectancy. But that's a team that's in cap hell right now. By carrying Eichel's cap, yeah, I saw that one too. So I would think that if that isn't their solution to keep Mark Stone on the IR, essentially, which I think is insanity, that if that's the case, that a player that can play that you're going to keep on keep removed just so you could get Eichel's cap on your payroll and not have to pay the penalty come playoff time. But that's a team that I think really needs help, clearing some cap space. And Buffalo has some of the, I want to say they have the most cap space in the league right now. Right, the top three in terms of cap space, and that's a team that you want to try. Heck, we'll take some salary cap, some dead weight off your roster. Not even dead weight, just a player making
big contracts. Yeah,
exactly.
A lot of people have wanted Adams to do this for the last year and a half, while they've kind of been in this flux. It'd be very interesting to see if he takes advantage of that, because you could maybe take on a bad contract that a team doesn't want. And again, it's like you said, it's not necessarily a bad player. It just matches up with a bad contract, which can make everything all worse. But maybe you can get like an extra first or something if you send back another pick. But I mean, yeah, it'd be very interesting to see if our guy Kevin with the Y can manipulate this situation.
I agree. Like I said, you saw a lot happen in the offseason between Vegas and the Arizona Coyotes, which that organization is a joke in itself, playing at ASU for the foreseeable future.
It's a tough look. It's a tough look for the NHL.
Yeah,
too,
I can't
truthfully. The NFL would never allow something like that.
No, just move the team. Like, I don't understand. You have other markets that are more than willing to take on a hockey team that can support a team. Your Hartford, I know they've been looking at Houston. Why not just put a team back up in Quebec? They have an arena, a brand new arena waiting. Like, I don't understand.
What about a North Buffalo and a South Buffalo team?
Right? Like, because that's what we need. More like that. No.
More playoff droughts.
No more droughts. No, we already have one drought.
With that said, obviously, what are the Sabres on the money line today? I mean, it's got to be pretty decent, right?
I would say the Sabres are favored. You have to be, right?
Sabres it's a pick 'em, so similar to the other night. It's minus 115 for the Sabres. So they're slight favorite.
Slight favorite. If you're it's kind
Vegas
of
predicting a lot of goals. With that said, Anderson's played well. Nobody has put any respect on Anderson's name this year, even when he has played well.
That's another thing too. Is that is a name you could possibly see maybe moved at the deadline as well.
He's not your goalie next year, right? So get rid of him.
Unless you he plans on playing another year at 41. I don't know, but.
No, we already been through this disaster where we put a stock in him to be this guy this year, and he wasn't able to. We got to get rid of him. And 262 with a 917.
Yeah, on this team. And here's the thing: I said it a couple times on Two Goalies One Mike when we had Jesse Granger from the Athletic in Vegas. I was like, him and Robert Lehner are very, very, very close, and I could definitely see them. I know Laurent Brossoit, their backup goaltender, who's making $4.9 million a season. I think he's probably the first guy out in Vegas. I could definitely, unless they really think they have something in this. I want to say his name's Logan Thompson, the backup the third goaltender there. unless they really have that much, faith in him to really take over that role as the backup goalie going to the playoffs. I could definitely see a situation where maybe Lehner kind of says, "Hey, let's go get Craig. Like, he's played very well for a terrible Buffalo team. We can trust him to be the backup in case something happens."
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, 12:31. We're just probably a minute or two away from puck drop. What do you got for the prediction today for the game, Canadian Sabres?
I'm going to go 4-1 Buffalo. I think that this team, St. Louis, and anytime there's a coaching change, there's usually like a bump in energy for the team. We saw it with Donnie Meatballs here in Buffalo. But I think Buffalo I hope they're pissed off after the way that game against Columbus went. They should come out of the gate firing here. I love the way that top line of Tage, Tuck, and Skinner has been playing. It's one of the better lines we've seen here since Eichel, Skinner, and Reinhart. So they're playing like a real top line, real NHL top line right now. So I would expect them to really take it to Montreal tonight, and hopefully our boy Tucky keeps up his scoring ways. He's a point a game per player right now. So I'm going to go 4-1 Buffalo.
Folks, this has been the Crossing Swords pregame show. Make sure you're keeping it tuned to all things Trainwreck Sports today. We got the big game before the big game, the Kitten Bowl, coming up at the top of the hour, actually. So under an hour away on that. We got our bets and all of our great plays, and then, of course, the Super Bowl action. Huge shout-out to Dwayne for joining us at 2 Goalies 1 Mike. Make sure you're following him at DwayneS39. And as always here at Crossing Swords, it's...
Let's go Buffalo.
Oh!